Children, we are going to study the extraction of metals now, and we have to study various types of extractions with respect to those metals which are very reactive, those which are moderately reactive, and those which are of low reactivity. So we are going to study methods regarding all these. Now, to start with, we are going to start with the metals, those are of very high reactivity, that which occupies the position at the topmost in the reactivity series. So you must be able to recollect regarding sodium, potassium, which are highly reactive metals, calcium, magnesium. So these are very, very reactive metals. They react with dilute acids and they release hydrogen gas. They react with atmospheric oxygen at room temperature. All these reactions take place at room temperature. So they all, when they combine with oxygen, they get oxidized. So these are very reactive metals and they react spontaneously, and they either get oxidized or they release hydrogen gas and they give rise to their chlorides. Metal chlorides or metal chloride salts are formed. So there is a separate method of extraction of these metals which are of high reactivity. Generally, metals like sodium, magnesium, calcium, they are all extracted from their uh, metal chlorides or metal chloride salts. So we are going to study the method of extraction of those metals first, which are highly reactive. So here we have extraction of metals of high reactivity. Extraction of highly reactive metals is done by electrolytic reduction method. So the method that is used is called as electrolytic reduction. Now, reduction, that is, we are going to study how the electrolytic reduction is going to be brought about. Here we will take into account the reduction with respect to gain of electrons is called as reduction. So how this is going to take place, that we are going to study. For example, the metals sodium, calcium and magnesium are obtained by electrolysis of their molten chloride salts. So that is what is used, that is molten chlorides of these metals like sodium chloride or magnesium chloride or calcium chloride. So these are metal chloride salts. So from them the extraction is going to be brought about. In this process, metal is deposited on the cathode while chlorine gas is liberated at the anode. So this is, we know about this, that is once these metal chlorides, they are ionic compounds, and so on in molten state they will dissociate, they will give rise to ions, and these ions on migrating towards respective electrodes cause flow of electric current. And so if positively charged ions will be migrating towards the cathode, so metal is going to be deposited at the cathode, whereas chlorine, which is negatively charged, will be evolved or liberated at the anode. So how these reactions take place, let's see in the next slide. Let's start with sodium chloride. We are going to extract sodium, metallic sodium, from sodium chloride. A sodium chloride is an ionic compound. It is formed due to loss and gain of electrons between sodium and chlorine. And in sodium chloride, Na plus and Cl minus ions are present. From these, now we require pure sodium metal or metallic sodium is to be obtained. We know that the melting point of ionic compounds is very high, and so huge tremendous amount of heat energy is required to convert the solid NaCl into molten state. But when it gets converted into the molten state, it will give rise to ions. The ions will separate, they will dissociate, they will get separated from one another. Now these sodium ions will start moving towards the cathode, whereas chloride ions, being negative, will start migrating towards the anode. So what are the cathode and anode reactions? Now, I hope you remember the activity that we had done for ionic compounds, where we had a beaker in which we had graphite rods, and we had taken sodium chloride solution, and we carried out electrolysis by passing electric current through it, and we found that the bulb was glowing. So that indicated that sodium chloride is a electrolyte. And we did it with a couple of other examples also, like potassium iodide, barium chloride, etc. So here also the same thing is going to happen. Sodium is going to move towards cathode because it is positively charged, and chloride is going to move towards anode because it is negatively charged. Now what happens once the ions reach these electrodes? So at cathode, sodium ions are going. So this is sodium here. At cathode, sodium ions are reaching. Now this sodium ion accepts one electron. It had donated one electron to chloride while the formation of ionic compound, that is NaCl, but it takes back its electron. When it accepts one electron, again its electronic configuration becomes same as earlier, that is 281. That is the atomic state is reached, and again it gets converted to sodium atom or metallic sodium. So this is gain of electrons, and hence it is reduction. Similarly, chloride ions will move towards the anode. After going to the anode, the chloride ions lose electrons. The electrons which chlorine had accepted, they lose electrons. On losing electrons, it gets converted to chlorine gas, that is Cl2, and 2 electrons are given away. Now here we have taken 2 chloride ions because chlorine does not exist as single atom. It is diatomic. That is why we will write down Cl2, that is molecular chlorine. So since there are 2 chloride ions, each chlorine will lose 1 electron, and so we have shown here 2 electrons, and loss of electrons is called as oxidation. So this is undergoing oxidation. Similarly, we can even write down the cathode reactions for magnesium chloride and even calcium chloride. The anode reactions will remain same because they are also forming bonds with chlorine, magnesium chloride, calcium chloride. So anode reactions will not change. What will change is only cathode reactions. So magnesium ions Mg2 plus will accept 2 electrons which it had donated to magnesium chloride formation. So it gives rise to metallic magnesium. Similarly, calcium also accepts 2 electrons and it gives rise to metallic calcium. So this is how the metals are obtained in their pure state using electrolytic reduction method. I hope you have understood why it is called as electrolytic reduction, because using energy we are splitting up the compounds or metal chlorides here into metallic sodium or metallic magnesium or metallic calcium. So that is why it is called as electrolytic reduction, and this method is used for highly reactive methods. Let's begin with the extraction of aluminium metal. Some general information about aluminium is given here. Aluminium symbol is Al, color is silver white. We see pressure cookers at our home and we know the color, that is silver white. Atomic number is 13, electronic configuration is 283, valency is 3, its atomic mass is 26, group is 13, and period number is 3. So this is some general information about aluminium. Ore of aluminium. Now aluminium metal is extracted from the ore bauxite. The formula of bauxite is Al2O3 NH2O. Major impurities: gangue, sand, silica, that is SiO2, iron oxide, that is Fe2O3, and titanium oxide, that is TiO2. So if we remove all these impurities from the bauxite ore, we are going to be left with only aluminium oxide. And by just carrying out reduction, that is removal of oxygen, we can get aluminium in the pure state. So bauxite can give us about 30 to 70% of aluminium oxide, and it is quite economically extracted from bauxite. So bauxite ore is used for extraction of aluminium. Now the very first step, as we have studied in extraction of any metal, is concentration of the ore. So the concentration of bauxite ore needs to be brought about. And in this concentration, we are actually increasing the percentage of the ore and removing the impurities or gangue. Separation of these impurities is done by leaching process using either Bayer's method or Hall's method. Now, leaching is carried out for aluminium. We had seen that that was the last method that we had seen in concentration of metals. And in leaching, the ore is soaked in a solution, and the ore combines with that solution. There is a chemical reaction, and the ore dissolves in it, whereas the impurities remain in undissolved form, and that these impurities can be easily removed by filtration method. So this Bayer's process or Hall's method makes use of different solutions in order to concentrate the ore. So what these solutions are and how they are used in order to concentrate the ore, let's see in the next slide.